Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
guys. Let us know when you can see us and hear us.
Yep.
Our internet's been kind of weird tonight, so I don't know how long it's going to support us being on the tubes with you guys. I hope it supports us for as long as we want, but it has been a little dicey the last couple of days. Not sure what's going on with it, but it is what it is. So I see that we have Braxton in here. Yep. Appalachian American Homestead was in here earlier, so I hope they get to join us.
Yep.
Braxton, I am so sorry, bud. That sucks. I
hope you feel better soon. We'll be praying for you, bud.
Yeah, I can sympathize with you wanting to be out with your animals because that's usually what makes me
better,
happy. Yeah. So I totally can sympathize with you. Yep. Hello, Randy Smith. How are you?
Yep, good to have you in tonight.
So what's everybody up to tonight? Anybody got anything going on this fine Wednesday?
Yeah, we had a little bit of a warm up today, which was nice.
40 degrees.
A couple cold days. That's when my voice is worse. So I went out and worked on the garden boxes. Mm-hmm. Ashley's talked about that quite a bit. Had some pictures posted.
Yeah.
But it was, what was it, like 18 degrees Monday? And I was out working it and actually broke a sweat. And then my throat was sore after that.
It was at some point. I know we were actually in negatives last week. I think it was Friday that we were in negatives.
Mm-hmm.
But my face got real dry and my lips cracked. So, I mean, it was like hurt your face cold. Yep. But it's pretty normal here in Indiana to have negatives one day. And then a couple days later, you're in the 40s. And I took full advantage. I made sure to pull all my water hose out so that I could water the animals and take advantage of a thawed out hose, which I probably should have emptied that tonight. I've been really good about like emptying the water before I stop, but I didn't tonight.
A couple of days don't look too bad. There is a snowstorm coming from the north, and it looks like it's going to miss us.
It's going to miss us again.
Yeah. Again. So those south of us, I'm sure are not happy.
I feel so bad for like Freedom Homestead down there. I know they've been getting whomped with tornadoes and winter storms and
more's on the way.
Yeah, so I really feel for them, but I'm gonna be a little bit selfish here and say they can keep it because I'm good. It's just this weird part of the year where we go from like mud in our barn to ice, and it's like overnight. So today, by the end of the day, the mud was finally starting to thaw, but I know we're supposed to get cold again tomorrow, so I'm like, bye bye. Yeah. Watch you become frozen. So
Randy Smith says, my wife is white shoulder boar goats and farmstead. So another crazy goat lady.
Another crazy goat lady. Always awesome. Welcome in the chat.
Yeah. Braxton said it got 60 today and I got to open my window and feel it. So that's a plus. It feels like a nursing home. Poor guy. But I know, especially on those warm days, you hate to waste them. Especially during the winter. So yeah. Hello, Bruce.
Hello, Bruce. What's up? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, like Ashley said in the title, it's hard not to think of spring with some of these warm-ups. And we're really focusing on our garden area this year.
Yeah.
Mainly because we're moving it. So we're basically restarting from scratch.
And we're kind of in a hurry, too, because I've done the wonderful job of spreading my kidding season out from like mid to late March until June. And I think I have one more junior one or two that I don't know if they caught. I put them in with the buck for like 3 days. I don't know if they were in heat. He drove one into heat and the other two, I was just like, okay, 3 days and we'll see if you cycle again. If you cycle again soon, then I'll breed them back. But if not, then I'll assume that they're pregnant. And if they come up open, I'll wait till fall. Because at this point now I'm going to be kidding from March till June. It's a really long time to kind of be on kid watch. Not that I don't love having kids on the farm, but there is like that element of anxiety and not sleeping and making sure that you're in the barn a lot more than you probably would want to be. And that's why we're also really pushing to get some of like the garden stuff set up and ready prior to spring actually being here, because come March, like my attention is going to be diverted for the most part. We have like week stints, a couple weeks in between kidding groups. So I'll have weeks where I'm not so involved, but I'll have other weeks where it's like, don't talk to me, I'm in the barn.
Yeah. And it's funny because the garden area, as many of you know, we like to hit the ground running on things, or instead of starting to walk, we run.
We run. Fall flat on our face a couple times.
But really with the garden boxes, we're pretty much at a standstill for every step because the next step depends on, like, Ashley's got a bunch of manure she wants to put in the boxes and stuff, but she can't just throw it out there until we have the boxes in place.
Yeah, the boxes have to be placed, and then because I want to do hugelkultur, I need to gather up sticks, logs, and leaves, and then that goes in, and then manure goes in on top of that, and then we'll do a layer of topsoil, which will be, that'll be the very last step before we'll probably start seeds before the topsoil's in those boxes. But it is one of those things where it's like, I can't do this until I do A, and I can't do it until I do B, and I can't do B until I do C, and it's just like a train of chores. But the weather being kind of back and forth, like the brutal cold does you no favors chainsawing logs. It's actually a lot tougher, I think. So
Braxton said we got to breed an amazing buck this past year, and I'm excited for this year's kids and this year's show season.
I'm excited for you, Braxton. It's so exciting. Hello, Patty.
She says,
what are you having for dinner?
So I was going to ask.
What are we having?
When you get a chance to stop cooking, let us know.
Yes, let us know what you're eating. Hello, David Outdoors.
Good to see you again. How has your winter been? I mean, we've had a couple snowstorms come through. I don't know.
Congrats on your dough. It's always fun to put things in the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
It's always such a relief, too.
It's like quite an accomplishment.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we cooked some deer sausage yesterday.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're seeing a lot of posts and people sharing things where
there's nothing in the grocery store.
Yeah, like, we're fortunate our area hasn't been hit that hard yet, which we're not heavily populated.
Yeah.
But
you do notice there are some bare spots in our grocery stores.
Yeah. The pharmacy area is pretty bare. We noticed that.
Yeah, but it's because of like what's going around.
Yeah,
actually, we've seen more people, not so much with COVID, but we've actually seen more with like the flu.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I went and got tested and it's not COVID. They tested me for the flu and I've got the flu real bad. So
through our church have turned in prayer requests for family or friends that have
it's been
the flu, strep throat that's going around.
Yeah, flu and strep throat together.
And
which I'm
stomach
like,
bugs,
keep it at home. Don't bring it here. So
yeah.
Hello, Emma. Welcome. And then Randy says, we had our last kitting yesterday. Well, Shannon did. Yeah, because you've got them boars. So you go now, I'm not sure what region of the country you guys are in, but are you guys as 4-H like the same way? You try to get them born as close to January 1st. That's how it was for us. Yeah. We had very few and far between fairs that allowed late December to late December kids. They all wanted from January 1st on. So like we would breed as close to get them dropping like January 2nd or 1st. So David says it's cold there. New York, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is your temperature like?
He also said, I didn't see any horns this year. My freezer is full and I make bread, so my shelves are full.
There you go. See, that's really good. And my ducks have started laying. They've started laying again, which is fantastic. My chickens, this is the first year ever.
Yeah.
Since having the farm that my chickens have laid without, I haven't changed feed. I don't have a light in there. I'm not giving them extra heat resources. I'm doing nothing different. But for some reason this winter, they're laying through the winter. Yeah. And in past years they hadn't. And I'm not one where I don't like give them cayenne pepper or put a light in there. I kind of let their bodies rest because that's their natural cycle. Not dissing anybody that likes their chickens to lay year round. I don't like freeloaders either.
So much going on in the winter too. It's sometimes hard to focus on.
So it's been, we've actually had tons of eggs. So I actually need to start calling up people that I usually sell to starting in the spring. Be like, hey, do you want some eggs? Because I have eggs now. Yeah. Like lots of eggs now.
I think because we focus so much on the goats and the donkeys too. The chickens, we just sort of do their
thing.
Yeah.
They do their thing.
So Randy Smith said Missouri, north of Kansas City.
Okay.
I think they might be getting some of that
weather.
Are
you guys getting the icky weather? No, you're not too far from Emma then, because Emma is a fellow Missourian. Speaking of strep, Issa got tested for that, and the other thing today, I am so sorry, Emma. That is so stressful.
Well, hopefully her results come back negative, and she feels better soon.
Yeah. Oh, I am so sorry. Poor Issa.
Yep. David Outdoors says, how was your hunting season? My girls are laying well also.
Good. I'm glad. My hunting season went well.
Yeah. She bagged a nice little doe.
Yeah, I put a doe in the freezer. We went out opening day, and it was Joke was with us for opening day. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those where I'm like, it's going to be cold. It's not like last year where it's going to get up to like 50 today. The high is like 25. So you really need to be
that real cutting wind too.
It did have a cutting wind. And she got out there. I offered her extra clothes. She said no to them. And I didn't want to I didn't want to put myself in a bad mood, nor did I want to fight with her prior to going to the stand because I'm like, we need to go out calm and easy. And about an hour and a half in, she's like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. Mark called from his stand. He's like, she's shaking pretty good. We should probably get down. So we didn't get anything opening day, but I went the next day and a doe crossed my path. So thankfully, we got to take a nice mature doe, and she's in the freezer.
Dave Outdoors, I'm getting about 4 dozen a day.
Crap. Yeah. How many chickens do you have?
That is some production.
You have lots of layers, though, don't you? I don't know how many I have. I have like 20 or so.
Yeah.
20 plus hens.
It's hard to keep track of. They're all over.
But I do have some like older
some free range,
hens.
and man, they spread out all over. The farmer next door, of course, cut their corn, and
they're like, "Yay!"
Start picking through it.
They go through, but then that makes them prime targets for our hawks.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to change up the times that I'm letting them free range because the hawk times me. I've gone out there where he's sitting in a tree waiting. I'm like, you know what time I come out and let these chickens out. So I've been trying to do it at different times, so I'm throwing them off. After he got my favorite rooster, I kind of felt like I needed to.
Yeah, and Ashley saw it happen.
Yeah, it was awful.
Eve Outdoor says, I'll check out your video. Congratulations on your success for your doe.
Thank you.
I've got about 60 birds.
That's pretty good, though.
Good
I mean, if you're getting 4 dozen a day, that's pretty good, especially because I know in New York, you guys have brutally cold winters. Brutally cold. I know I was watching Sweet Pea Farm on Instagram posted she just had a lamb, the first lamb of the season, and she said it was -12 that morning. Yeah. I was like, dang, it's not like that here. So we've had some negatives, but not -12. Yeah. It was more like -3 or 4.
Real sporadic, up and down, which is like wreaks havoc on
he's got this thing going on with his throat, and I kind of don't feel the best. I told Mark I've not been motivated this week. Like last week, we were super motivated. I couldn't sit still, and this week I'm just like, I don't know if it's because work's ramped up and we're pushing overtime, but I just like have no motivation.
My stupid rooster kung fu'd a hawk twice.
Really?
That is pretty awesome.
Can your rooster come teach my roosters?
Yeah, really. What kind of rooster does Bruce have?
I don't know. What kind of rooster do you have? He got my big salmon favre, which was a very heavy bird.
Apparently one that's got a black belt.
Now I've seen them charge the hawks, but he came down on the rooster. Usually the roosters will kung fu over the hens, but it was the rooster that got whomped.
Our hawks, the way they come in too, I mean, they come in pretty fast. And
I've noticed like they'll either sit way across the field and go way up high and come straight down, or they'll actually fly high and roost like right above the trees where they're at feeding underneath and just come straight down.
I've seen them hit a couple times and they catch them totally off guard.
Well, like he hadn't really had any blood, but like on his comb, but there were feathers everywhere, which means like he got hit hard because when they hit, like feathers just poof. Yeah, it's crazy. Everywhere. It's crazy.
Which that hawk's a giant.
It is a really big red tail. Like probably challenges bald eagle size in this area.
That's weird. David Outdoor says it's been cold. I've been busy plowing and salting. Big news. I hit 1K last week. That is great news. Congrats, David Outdoors.
I'm so excited for you. It is. Oh my gosh. It feels like such a grind getting there. I'm not going to be that person, but I hope that you get to your watch hours soon too. Mm-hmm. We're really close.
Yeah, our anniversary for 2 years is coming up.
It's next week. So I will say this a couple times, but next week we will not have it live on Wednesday. We'll have it on Thursday. Because that was actually the 2-year anniversary that we've been on YouTube. It feels like it's been so much longer.
Yeah. But like the awesome part of it is we've met some cool people.
Oh my goodness, we really have. I would say like even in the moments where I'm like, I hate this is stupid, why do I waste my time doing this? But it's the people that like Emma's in here and Bruce is in here and you got David, like everybody in here just makes it totally worth it. Hello, Mama Burton, how are you? You passed watch hours 2 months ago? Dang, wow, that's awesome, Dave. I am so happy for you because usually it's the other way around. Yeah. We're still plucking along. We've been at 1,000 for almost a year, and we're really, really close to hitting monetization.
Yep.
Not as close as I would like, but well, I mean, it is what it is.
Your goat herd's growing. So
and that's it's gonna be very stressful here. So I feel like when everything starts happening, I'm gonna be a wreck.
I'm sure Ashley will have plenty of video of that because people love seeing baby goats.
Yeah,
Lala Farm's been having a lot lately.
Yeah, they've been in their kidding season.
I'm sure that's giving you the kid bug.
It really does give me the kid bug. And then I see other breeders that do dairy, and they've got kids that are starting to hit the ground, and I'm like,
But I won't lie. I mean, like we said last live, we do not miss sitting out in the cold in January. So
I don't miss that at all.
yeah, here, I mean, they would wait till the most brutal nights to have their kids.
Yeah.
Like you're really frostbite to wait for
They
that
would.
good to drop.
I know there's been several times where I'm like called to work, be like, I need to sleep at least 2 hours before I come in, because there have been nights where it's like you're out there every 10, 15 minutes, because it's like if a kid drops, I need to be there because it's too cold.
Yeah. Even with the heat lamp.
Yeah, even with heat lamps, it's too cold.
A lot of times they'll drop it, in the opposite corner of the pen from the heat lamp. You're like,
I know, like, why did you
come on, Mama, pay attention to where the heat source is.
In your butt towards the heat source. And then if Mama's had a tough labor or she's on to the next one, sometimes like you really do have to be there. It's crazy.
Dave Outdoors says, took me about a year and a half to get there. You guys are amazing. You'll get there.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it.
Gary is 7 days a week, remember.
I know. Oh, trust me, when it's milking season, I'm like...
Yeah, but this year you have the Simple Pulse milker.
I do have a milker this year, so...
We'll also have some...
And it milks 2 goats at one time.
Yeah, so we'll probably have some videos on it, because there is a lengthy instruction manual for it.
I really probably need to set up my tack room a little bit better, just to make it to where I can have 2 goats. I bought the extra goat stand. You guys are going to get another video on a treat yourself, because it's not really so much like a treat yourself, but it's more like...
Why would they send Ashley this? It says, why goats? So she needs a reason.
I don't need a reason. Goats are the reason. Goats are the reason for everything on our farm.
Picture you on there, just saying like,
why goats?
Ashley.
So Emma says, can't stay friends taking care of the kiddo tonight. Matt and Carmen are sequestered in the basement.
Ooh.
No problem, Emma. No problem. Yeah. Tell her we are praying for her. We hope that she feels a lot better, and we hope that you stay well and everybody else in the house stays well.
Yeah.
So you have a good night, Emma. Thanks for stopping in, lady.
Hello, Haas. How you been?
Hey, Haas.
How's after Santa season?
Yes.
I know he's probably winding down after that busy time of year.
Didn't you see his Facebook status? What was it last week? 50 Fridays until Christmas?
Yeah. Already counting down.
Already counting down. That's all right. There's nothing. But as my mom would say, she'd be like, quit wishing your life away, Ashley Louise. Like, okay, well, won't wish my life away.
Yeah, he did a pretty spiffy Santa Claus outfit this year, too.
Yes, I thought it was very nice.
I like that vest and everything.
I did. I thought it was very, very classic. Not like like the big normal red suit. I kind of liked it. It just had a very neat feel about it. You're still recuperating? I bet. That's crazy.
That was a busy time. It seemed like he had something scheduled. Yeah. Like every couple of days. So.
I couldn't imagine. And the holiday season is already so busy. Then on top being Santa.
Yep.
I found it hard just being like an unofficial Santa in our house.
Yeah. For sure.
That was enough. I'm like, can't do much more.
Yep. So.
Yeah, but we've been dreaming of spring. So some of the things that are on our docket outside of the garden boxes, which you guys will start to see a video of that really soon. We're also going to do a how-to on it where it breaks it down to exactly how much we paid for it, so that if anybody wants to try to kind of copycat or laugh at what we're paying for our new garden boxes, totally cool too. Yeah. That's going to be out there for you guys.
They're out there, they work.
But along with kind of planning out the setup of this new garden.
Hello, Rebel Canners.
Hello, Rebel Canners. Welcome. And trying to figure out how we can get the most bang for our buck in that area. It also means that I have to pull out my seeds, and I have to figure out what seeds do I still have left, what seeds am I lacking, are there new varieties? No, Django, no.
He's been eating tonight.
I think he has to poop again. He's been out like 3 times since I fed him. I don't know if he's got upset stomach or if he's got something out there that he's just really interested about. He's been very annoying today. He's been very, very annoying today. But anyway, so I have to go through my seeds and figure out what new varieties I want. And we're kind of tossing in the air like a farmer's market or opening like a farm stand or things like that. So I'm kind of also trying to take into accommodation like what varieties I think might be good for selling, but are also palatable to me because I don't sell them, then I will eat them. So I'm trying to do that and getting our companion companion planting together to figure out like what's going to go in what boxes and where are we going to have trellises. And I think along the house, we're planning on ripping out all of our flowers. I'll probably transplant them somewhere else.
At least around the garden.
At least around the garden. And what I would like to do is actually put like blueberries and raspberries and blackberry bushes in there and just put it against the house and have like a secondary berry bush patch there. We already have one out by the bees, which was very helpful because apparently lots of bees like to swarm on that. So it's nice when we get a swarm. Which actually, speaking of the bees, while Mark went down to pick up Joe today, he has a thermal like handheld scope that we use when there are predators outside or we're not sure if we need to do like a nighttime sweep of the property. Then one of us usually will have a boomstick and one of us will have like that thermal so we can pick up a heat signature. But I took it down to the beehives today. Probably not the best day to do it after dark because it's been 40 degrees. So a lot of things are actually still holding quite a bit of heat. But I took it down and used the thermal scan on the beehives. And it looks like all 5 are still kicking as of right now because all the boxes were much warmer than the surrounding areas. Yeah. So hopefully they keep it up. If not, then it is what it is. They weren't strong enough. But
we've been pretty good about putting out syrup when it's warms up.
When they can come out and get it. But far enough away from all of our hives though, so that we don't encourage any rotting to happen. Because we do have one hive where if it makes it through the winter, like I'll kiss your butt. I will. Call me a monkey's uncle. I don't think they're going to make it through just because they weren't the strongest. They got a late start, but so I don't expect them. But they're hanging in there today, so we'll see. Yep. We'll see. Maybe they've got survivor genes that we want to keep.
Very true.
You never know.
Yeah, part of it was just because they were a small part of a split.
Well, it was a split from a swarm, but we thought we got the queen, and there was no queen in that swarm. Yeah, we caught it in July, the beginning of July, and I didn't actually get in there until the end of July after fair and everything calmed down and got in. I'm like, they've built no comb. There's nothing in here. There are no eggs. There was a fraction of the bees that there should have been by now. So I actually took a couple frames of eggs from one of my strong hives with some nurse bees and just put them in there, shook them in, and was like, this is what's going to happen. And they made their own queen. And they just got a late start, but it is what it is. If they don't survive, they don't survive.
We're pretty happy about seeing that.
I mean, if they survive, it's a total bonus. If not, they draw me out comb, and I've got a place for a new swarm next year.
Randy Smith says, try potatoes in a water tank. Just put a straw in it.
Oh.
That might be something to try. You did the feed bag.
I had seen that. I had seen in the water tank. I've also seen where they take the welded wire towers. Have you ever done that, Randy? With the potato towers. So the water tank is great. We will probably end up doing it because we have a deep water tank that would be great for potatoes. Actually,
you mean those big storage water tanks?
I have 100 galloners that were used for big horses, and I don't run big animals anymore, so I'm not using them.
Even those big white ones, you cut the top off of them.
Big white ones?
Yeah, behind the barn. They hold those are huge. So.
Those are water storage in case crap hits the
We eventually want to run gutters into those.
Yeah, we would love to run gutters into those so that we have just water any given time.
That sounds
that's a really good idea, Randy. I like that.
I won't lie. With our new garden area, we have a lot of space, so we can definitely.
I'm good with no dirt. It works good, no dirt.
Yeah.
Trying it.
Fugate Farms, hello.
Hi, Fugate Farms.
Hanging out at the hospital, so I thought I'd jump in safe.
Oh, I'm so sorry you're hanging at the hospital. I hope everything is okay.
Prayers, you're doing all right.
Prayers to you and whoever's there are okay.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, just know so many people that have not been feeling well.
They've not been.
I've got an uncle in the hospital right now, so it's a rough time of year.
Yeah.
Bruce said, I don't want to know how many dead ones I have. Don't worry, they'll bring them out front to you, Bruce.
Don't worry. I went down today and was walking in front. It was just light enough, and there were some dead on the doorstep. I'm like, because it got just warm enough, they're probably moving.
Super attached because he even names his queens. Remember?
You do. I remember that TikTok.
I heard it about 4 times.
I did. I watched it over and over. Mark's like, how many more times are you going to watch this? I'm like, as many as it takes till I am satisfied. There's a lot of times.
Bruce said, I love growing potatoes. I plant them right into the lawn.
They have nice plants, the part above ground. I just love how they look. They're just so big and leafy and bushy. It's just, They're really nice. I find them pleasing to the
And
eye.
honestly, we like eating potatoes. So
Yes, I'm a starch
that
girl.
is
I
definitely
love
a
starches.
vegetable
Starches and carbs.
we consume. So
Hugh says everything is good. Niece had brain surgery and she's in recovery. Oh my
well,
goodness!
glad to hear she's in
I
recovery.
am.
Doing
I'm
good.
glad to hear
Hopefully
that.
things continue on the up and up.
Oh no, Spinal, really? It takes some practice.
Don't
Don't
disheartened.
get disheartened. And trust me, when you find the jugular, when you're in there, you will know.
You will know the person doing it, because if they're anything like Ashley, she jumped out, started swinging the needle around, while me and the vet assistant were within close proximity, within arm's length. And even the vet assistant's
She's like, calm down.
Slow down. You've got a needle in your hand.
Yeah,
you don't want to
she's trying to get me to calm down.
Yeah.
And that's what I will
and
tell
my
you.
sister pretty much did the same
She
thing.
did.
So
I was glad that I wasn't the only one that had that. Whoa, I did it! You know, because it's super empowering.
But honestly, Ashley tried several times, and honestly, some does are harder than others.
Yeah.
I honestly have never gone into draw blood, but I've been right on
He
top.
holds them.
I hold them and see it. But it's funny because sometimes she'll do it, and you can actually see the vein pop out.
Yeah, it'll pop out, or like I'll have some where they're thick doughs, and that vein will roll. It's like the moment the needle gets close to it, it rolls.
You've had issues too of going in too much on angle.
Yeah, if you go in so like let's say this is your goat's neck, this is the jugular. You don't want to come in like I do it the opposite way. So I actually do this demonstration. I'm sorry. So let's say like this is their jugular vein and this is your needle. You don't want to go in straight because it's a lot easier to go through, puncture, and go out the other side, and it's going to cause bruising, and it's actually pretty painful for the goat. You actually try to ride up alongside and up and into it. It's a lot less trauma, and that way, like, you're giving yourself more clearance to actually hit the vein and stay in the vein.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you hit it and go through, it's weird. It's like they know to like retract their jugular.
Yeah.
You probably won't hit it again.
And it's pretty frustrating because when we watch
really is.
I watched it and she knows too doing it, but you'll see the blood go in for a split second and you're like, oh, I got it.
There it is.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's super easy to go and hit the vein and blood starts, but it's like your movement and your action is like just a millisecond behind your brain saying, stop right there. Mm-hmm. And it really sucks. I'm so sorry that you're still struggling. It will get better though. And if you do get frustrated, the best thing that I will tell you, I tried several times on my own with the doe, and I couldn't do it. And my mentor was actually a vet tech that works at my veterinarian's office that sees all my goats. And she's super nice. And I called her up and I said, hey, can you please come over and just stand over my shoulder and critique? And I want to watch you do it a couple times. And then I want to do it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And trust me, like, you will feel bad too. Like, you'll feel really bad. But after a while, like, how many goats have I done now?
Quite a few.
I've done ours several times.
All those does that last spell.
Yeah, 20. So I think I had 25 that I sent in.
It is something too. Once you get the hang of it, it does get better.
It gets better. It really does. But if you can get a vet out there or someone in your area, like if you get on Facebook and do like goat tips and tricks, that Facebook group is fantastic. Even have a video too. And that's where he found me.
Okay.
He's actually commented on that and found me on Instagram too. But go in there and see if you have someone in your area that actually does the blood pool and see if they will come help you. And if you can't get someone like a mentor in your area, get with your vet. Most vets don't have a problem coming out. They'll probably still charge you to come out and show you because it is their time and their service they're giving you. But it's very helpful to see someone do it and they can kind of critique. Because my big thing was, I'm a righty and like I would find the vein, but I would let go. Like at the base of their neck, you have to keep pressure, like really stout pressure, because what it does is that's what balloons the jugular up and makes it big enough for you to insert a needle. So if you don't have enough pressure here or you let off, it's like the blood pressure drops and you won't be able to pull the blood as easy. Like you almost feel like you're darn near strangling them. Like right where their shoulder V comes in and meets their neck. Like I just put my hand and press real hard, find the vein with my thumb, and then just ride the needle up into it. It's crazy, but it's once you get a hold of get it down once or twice, it's like riding a bike. It really is. We're actually getting ready to do blood pools again. thinking about doing it live if YouTube will not freak out that I'm showing you guys how to pull blood live. But
Yeah, happens.
it might be a good one for you to come to.
Yep, for sure. Let's see. Randy Smith said, by the way, I blocked those. So.
Thank you.
Randy Smith says Shannon has gone to 3 different farms to show how to do blood this year. Just takes time to learn. It really
does. I got taught 2 years ago, and then last year I taught my sister-in-law, and I actually sold a doe this year, bred her, and went and drew blood on all of her goats for her.
Yeah.
Showed her like, hey, this is how I do it. And I told her when she's ready to do everybody to call me. Because I don't mind going and showing and like directing her. Or even having her come out when I'm doing my blood draws. I don't mind that at all either.
Yeah, it's just so nice to be able to do it at your own convenience.
Yeah. And good for Shannon being open like that. Most goat people are like that, Spinal, where they're like, they're really helpful. Like they're very hands-on. They really want people to learn how to do things for themselves because it's just very odd. A lot of people I know that own goats are not super jazzed up when they have to go to a vet. And I think I've seen more goat people that will avoid a vet at all costs, whether they know what they're doing or not. And usually it's very costly to the goat. So if you can get people to come out and help you, most goat people will come and help you. They have no problem helping you. Yeah. And I know for like, for Marissa, I brought all this stuff. I'm like, I'm bringing the red tubes. I'm bringing everything. I'm just going to come show you how to do this real quick. I'm no free of charge. Like, I'm just going to come help you do it because it's just easier. And in the long run, it's cheaper to learn to do a lot of these things yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what added y'all. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I've been trying to be a little more active on IG.
So you've added more there. So
yeah, I've been trying to be a little bit more active on Instagram, even though it's really not my forte. But yeah, speaking of that, Fermented Homestead got a hold of me on there, and I'm terrible in my Instagram messages. Anybody ever Instagram messages me? It's going to be a while before I see it.
You did a good job.
I just got in there the other day and looked at a message, and I think Spinal, you're in my messages too. But it was another homesteader who wanted to do a collaboration. And I waited like 5 days before I was like, yeah, I want to do that. Is it still open?
I was going to say Fermented Homestead's awesome.
Well, yeah, Anna over at Fermented Homestead, she does a ton of food preservation, fermenting, canning.
Which
She's just
is
awesome.
Super good to know.
Yes,
right now.
and it's a goal of ours to be a little bit more involved with food preservation. But I'm going to be doing a collaboration with them on fermenting. I know nothing about fermenting, but I figured this might be a good way too for me to get into it and research and do a little application while sharing it all with you. So that might be interesting. Might be a total bore fest, but we'll see.
Randy Smith, goat people are a different breed. I agree.
Yeah, they are.
They can be.
Yeah, they are. Poor Mark knows, like when we're selling a doe,
goats, I know that.
He does.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny. Like if we have someone come in to look at goats, he knows like I'm going to be in the barn like an hour or two beforehand because I need to clean and make sure everything looks good. And he knows like I'll come out 45 minutes after they get here because that's when we'll start winding down just talking about goats, and actual work will be done where he might be needed to help gather goats.
When you got another goat person coming to buy a goat, you will pretty much have to have like a 3-hour window because when they get there, they're going to talk to you about the goats. Then you're going to go look at the goats for an hour, and then you're going to talk about the goats again.
It always turns into a farm tour.
Yeah.
Whenever we have goat people out,
honestly though, we've had good luck with cool people.
We really have. We've really met up with some really, really great people. I think there's only been a couple of people where I was like, I don't know if I want to sell this animal to you. But then really like it's my responsibility to reach out and to be a mentor. And I do still have some where I check. I will send them a message like every other month, like, hey, just making sure she's still doing good for you. You know, are you guys breeding? Because I think it's really good to network like that too. You just never want to close doors. Never want to close doors. But yeah, Randy Smith, they are different, aren't they? It's kind of ridiculous how different they can be sometimes. Yeah. But other than that, which we will have blood draws coming up very, very soon. Yeah. I'm trying to wait until my last yearling doe comes into heat or to breed 30 days from when I took them out. If they haven't gone back into heat, then I know that something probably occurred in the stall they were in with the buck. And I will do blood draws then because I don't want to draw blood more than one time for pregnancy tests. I use URBL out in California, and I do all of the biosecurity panel testing along with pregnancy checks. just do it all at one time, so I can just get it out of the way and get
They can
my
check
peace
for a
of
lot of
mind.
things, which is nice too. If you
Yeah,
have blood draw.
so usually our blood draw, our panels that we are having tested are Johne's disease, CL, and CAE.
Mhm.
But I do think I might add brucellosis, or Q fever.
It's brucellosis. I don't think
It's in cattle as well. Don't you remember in Yellowstone they were talking about the bison? He's like, how do I
We
know
have a
them?
Bruce
Those
in the
bison
chat.
aren't going to give my
Bruce might know what
brucellosis.
brucellosis is.
Bruce, if you're still here, do you know what brucellosis is? It is contagious to goats, but Johne's is also
Mhm.
contagious in dairy cattle and meat cattle.
Yeah.
It happens. Goodness gracious. So that does happen quite a bit, but we're going to be doing that. We're doing a lot of our garden planning. We're getting things kind of all put together, which means I'll probably be buying more seeds. I'm sure Mark's super happy about that. Yeah. Oh, and it's so bad that the UPS guy has gotten so used to us. Yeah. Mark was at the gas station. I think it was like New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And the UPS guy was there, and he's like, "Stop, Mark!" He recognized him. Yeah. It was like, "I think I'm coming to your house today," and had him come to the truck to look to see what he was bringing.
And of course, it was a
gorilla cart.
A large box Ashley had ordered. So he's like, you know what? It might just be easier to bring it to your house.
It probably is going to be.
I was like, all right. Yeah, I just
drove. But it's so bad. Like, he was so used to being here around like the holidays. He knows us out in public. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the one day he stopped in. He's like, what you all got out here? So he had to talk to him about
too much. Yeah. We have too much. It would be great to quit my day job and just play with my animals all day, but that's not going to happen for a while. So. Then Randy Smith says it works that way at our place too. Everything is put on hold when someone comes by. Yeah. You have to. Yeah. You have to. People are going to want to chat.
Yeah.
And if you're a true goat person, you're going to oblige.
Yeah.
You're going to chat with them.
And of course, we have our bucks on site and everything, so we like to show them, you know, hey, here's where some of the lineage is coming from and stuff like that.
I have people that once they're here, they're like, "What chickens do you have?" And they'll go down and, "Got any chickens for sale? You got any eggs for sale?
What ducks do you have?
What ducks do you have? Oh, are those beehives? Do you have honey?" Like, not yet, but it's just kind of funny because they come for goats, and it's like, here, stock your pantry with like eggs and honey and stuff.
If you see our videos, our farm is set up in like a loop. Too.
So it is super easy to bring people around
and through everything, which is nice. But
it's fun, and we always get good compliments. So I am always very pleased with how visits to our farm go, whether it's for people buying goats or whatever they're here for. Sometimes they're here for ducks, sometimes they're here for chickens. It just kind of depends. Whatever's ready to be ready to go to a new home.
Which, on that note, we do have to build extra fencing in the goat pen because a part of our garden will be going into the section of the goat pen. So we have to work on that too.
We're moving our in-ground garden as well.
Yeah.
Our road garden, I guess you would call it.
More out of sight because it's pretty much in the middle of our yard right now, and it looks rough when everything's done
in July
growing.
When we're at fair and it's just I'm milking and I don't have time.
Like right now when growing season's over, you have a bunch of stalks,
big dead sunflower stalks in there.
The ground's sort of muddy down there, so we're going to
ducks are helping them along too.
Back a little more out of sight.
So it's actually going to go into our goat pen, which means we're going to have to. I don't think we're going to do like the wood fencing that we have up here in front. It'll probably be more of the cattle panels that we can open up and put. What I would really like to do. Mark's like, oh God, I hope this is what we've planned, and it is what we've planned. But to take those cattle panels and then I can move them over, so that when we're done with growing season and I need my ground to be amended. Yeah. I can literally take chicken feed over there, throw chicken feed in, the chickens go scratch it. I can let the donkeys in. I can let the goats in. They can work the ground. They can add their lovely amendments, their poop to the soils, which are great. So
thank you, Patty, for joining us. Yeah. Hopefully you're enjoying that dinner.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Yes, 100%.
We had Mexican tonight.
We had Mexican. We did. We ate out, and we need to do better about that. But it is what it is. It's been busy, and when it gets cold like this, I don't know. I just don't like cooking when it's cold. I kind of like having to do much when it's cold. But
as Randy Smith said, though, it's a lot better than living in.
It is.
Yes.
I would take
Wouldn't
this any
trade it.
day,
Mhm.
especially with how COVID kind of, it made people go kind of squirrely, being isolated and stuff. Like for us, we dealt with that isolation a little bit differently. Actually, we just threw ourselves more into our homestead. I grew the best garden I've ever grown that year that we quarantined. I was with the goats a lot more, but now I work remotely, so I'm hoping I have high hopes for this year. Last year, kind of, I don't know what happened last year. I don't know if I got overwhelmed because all of a sudden we had a year where we could just be home all the time and we were quarantined, and then it was back to work, and then softball started, and then fair started. Nothing was virtual, nothing was canceled, and it was just like it kind of compounded and became very unmanageable for myself. But I'm hoping this year it will be a little bit different. It will be a little bit different. My voice is struggling, guys, so I'm probably going to call this early tonight. I'm really sorry.
Well, we're not alone. It sounds
We're
like a lot
not
of people
alone.
are dealing
I'm
with
just
this.
not feeling the best. He's not feeling the best. We still have to go take out garbage, be out in the cold a little
Flip
bit
the
longer.
chickens.
I need to edit. I've got some things I need to work on here around the house. But I really appreciate everybody tuning in with us tonight. But remember, next week is going to be on Thursday because it's going to be our 2-year anniversary on
Big
YouTube.
celebration. Hard
Big
to believe
celebration.
It's been 2 years.
It feels a lot longer.
Especially
Sometimes
since
it feels longer, sometimes it
the
doesn't.
farm started like 12 years ago.
Yeah, I really wish you guys would have been able to see like where we
From
came
the ground
from,
up.
but it is what it is. You guys get to see the improvements as
And
they move
where our
forward.
dream reached so far. So.
Yeah. So we are really happy that y'all got to spend time with us tonight. We hope that you're all staying safe out there and being kind to one another. And we're going to catch you in the next one, y'all.
Yep.
God
Have a good
bless.
night. God bless.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.